Dr. Anthony Yen. And before I go on, I apologize. I'm going to have to leave here in a few minutes. I got to get on a plane. So after I introduce Dr. Yen, I'll probably be walking out shortly. Dr. Yen, everyone who knows Anthony Yen knows that he's not afraid of a fight. Thank God we have him. At a time when Cleveland needed more than anything to globalize and connect with some of the biggest economic superpowers, like China, like India, Anthony was banging his fist on the table. We got to connect with China. We got to get trade missions to China. We got to attract the foreign direct investment to China. And unfortunately, a lot of those words were met with a large thud. If you look at where Chinese foreign direct investment is going around the world right now, it's going mostly to Africa, first and foremost, Latin America second, Europe third, and fourth the United States. And particularly in the Midwest, when it's so popular to bash the Chinese and say, we don't want the Chinese here. The Chinese hear that, and they say, well, then we don't want to put our money here. So I think there's a great opportunity to attract Chinese foreign investment and companies. And I think China will eventually build manufacturing in the United States, much like Japan did in the 70s and 80s. But we got to welcome that. So Anthony has a long storied career. He's been given awards from the U.S. Department of Commerce. He's been an advisor to the Chinese government. He's got his PhD from MIT. And I think I remember Anthony the most when he was telling me recently about his beautiful family and marrying a woman not from China and raising children of different backgrounds, which is kind of like my family. My wife is from Taiwan, and we have children of different backgrounds. We're trying to raise them in a Chinese, American, global environment. So with Anthony, I just want to say thank you for everything you've done for Cleveland. And as I read the Plain Dealer on Sunday, and I see the story, big story of a young Chinese-American investor in Cleveland who just had the guts. Is Derek here? Derek, where are you at? You here in the audience, Derek? There he is. Stand up, Derek. Give him a hand. Derek is from China originally and moved to Cleveland. Why? He loves the city. He says, what a beautiful place, with great infrastructure, with great resources, with great people. And now he wants to tell China all about his find. So he put together a video. I don't know if you saw this story on Cleveland.com with the Plain Dealer. We took the video of Cleveland proper and put it to Cantonese. So now they're going to be broadcasting it on Chinese TV. And it shows a beautiful face of Cleveland. But I look at Derek and this new wave of Chinese investors and entrepreneurs into Cleveland. I think it couldn't have happened without Anthony Yen. Dr. Yen?
Thank you, Richard. I know he's going to leave pretty soon, and he won't keep it short. There's one thing I want to say, Dr. Fujita is correct. The most important thing is the attitude. And for me, I came here in 1949. And remember, in 1949, some of you wasn't even born yet. And those days, it was tough. You talk about immigrant tough today, that was real tough those days. But it's the attitude kept me going and start reaching out and fight my rights to be able to make a contribution to this great country. And I want to make sure, and first I want to thank my wife. I want you to stand up and to be recognized. She's an inspiration for me. And also, because of her, I was able to sustain with all the prejudice, all the hardship we went through. But believe me, I kept my focus because the attitude. I had passion to go around. And believe me, it wasn't easy, but I made it. I made achievement. I mentioned to Richard. When I was invited, I shared this experience with you. The first, I came here was well-to-do, from a very rich family. But 1950, the war started in Korea. At 51, the government froze the fund because China entered the war on part of North Korea. So Anthony had out the money. I went to looking for jobs. And I went to the the steel mill in Lackawanna, Bethlehem Steel, in Lackawanna, New York. And I asked for a job with big pay. And guess where they put me? In the open heart furnace. There was no white man there. The only African American. And their arm was bigger than my leg. And they treat me terrible. They're ignorant, they call me jinx. And I use my head then. I said, that's not going to put up too long. I started thinking, our job was to take a big shovel, put in the chemical, the material to be thrown in the furnace. And I was shocked because one day, didn't realize the temperature in there, and while you're talking, forget that you had the shield on top. Didn't close it. When they opened the gate, the fire came out of there, boom, hit me. I had a severe burn, of course. At the same time, as you know the physics, the air coming from the furnace chasing out created just like a sudden tornado. Everything in the shovel is half inside the furnace, half is on the floor. And I started using head. I went by a maintenance shop. There's a whole bunch burlap bags there. Those days use burlap bag for cement. So after you finish the cement, there's a whole bunch of burlap bags. So I asked the guy, what do you do with the burlap bag? Nothing. You want to take it. So I brought it back. I couldn't use those shovels, they get this big. They were just too heavy. So I used just a little bit of time, put it into the bag. So 1, 2, 3, after they opened, they threw that in there. Everything supposed to be in there, got there. So what happened to their quality? They got the best quality. What happened to the time it takes to shovel in versus, you know, the bag? So you close down, you have better heat, fastest result. So everybody got bonus. No more jinx. All of a sudden, I am a teacher. And that was the first action in my way of showing entrepreneurship. Since that day on, there was a lot of stories, but I don't have time to tell you. But I give you one more thing. I was very happy when Casper Weinberger invited me to be on the chairman circle. I didn't know why I was invited, but I went there anyway. When I went to this huge room with a circular tables, and they have 3 seats. Every one of them are giants. Jack Welch Jr. was one of the members, and he brought 2 staff members. They have a staff and then another secretary behind us. Anthony Yan come alone. But I was very fortunate. Casper Weinberger understand how I feel. He sits me next to me. And my heart was pounding because the first thing he asked was to everyone on the table, she'll go around the table to tell people who you are. What do you do? My heart starts pounding because I don't know what they're going to say. We have 20 people in this long table, all the prima donnas there. I was very lucky. I was the last one to be saying what I was doing. So I patiently waited. By then, my mouth was dry, heart was pounding, because you hear all the giants. Richard Rosenberg, Bank of America, the head of the senior Baker McKenzie's, Jack Welch Jr. is the Boeing Aircraft Company chairman, ABB, and so. Come to me, and Casper Weinberger said, you don't need to get up. I already told the gentleman the last meeting. Oh, I felt so good. So finally, at the lunch, I asked him, why did you invite me? He said, yeah, I did this because I went to Taiwan, your name was mentioned up. I went to Korea, your mention went. When I went to China, they mentioned you. He said, you ought to be in the committee. Now, I want to congratulate you guys for organizing such an organization. I wish I had those organizations at the time when I was starting this movement. But I wish you well, and thank you so much for devoting your time and your spirit and your passion to make this organization work. Because one thing I'd like you to take with you is tell your congressmen, your senators, stop bashing Chinese. Now's the time to reach out to Chinese, bring them to invest here. With oil prices are very high, it's time for China to thinking about sub-assembly overseas rather than do everything shipping across. Can you imagine a big washing machine this big? They're shipping ads. So it's about time to sub-assembly here. Thank you very much.